A very good evening to all the friends here and other my mining colleagues and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege this evening. I am Victor, a retired mining engineer from state of Goa and the Vice President of Mining Engineers Association of India. This evening it's my privilege and honor to invite all of you to convey what we mining engineers of India, a collective voice of 5,000 membership of an association, is one of the biggest technical body comprising of all the professionals connected with mining industry. They have already led, therefore I would keep aside the formalities and straight away go on business. To my right, Mr. Arijit Bakshi, President of Mining Engineers Association of India, and a very senior and experienced mining engineer in the industry. Mr. T.V. Chaudhary Garu, a well-known personality in the mining industry in the country, not only in Andhra Pradesh, also in the country, and he is the past president of Mining Engineers Association of India. Now, I would request Mr. Bakshi, our president, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Mr. Victor, and good afternoon, or rather good evening to ladies and gentlemen from the press. We are extremely thankful to you for accepting our invitation to come to our rescue. This is a national level conference, press conference, and I'll go straight away by telling you who we are, why we are here, and what we want. And I request all of you to convey this message all over India in the best possible manner, because it is of prime importance to the country and to the people of the country. Who we are, Mr. Victor has already said. On my right, Mr. T.V. Chaudhary is the past president and also the former director of geology and mining in the government of Andhra Pradesh for a record number of years. We have in our audience also large number of members from Goa, Odisha, Karnataka, North India, Rajasthan, and MEI is a body which also does surveillance of the progress of the legislation with regard to the industrial field in general and mining industry in particular. We believe in scientific mining, safe mining, reasonable mining, and also environmental friendly, eco-friendly, and community friendly mining. We do not believe in any sort of controversial mining which you all must have heard, and we cannot answer any question with regard to all those controversies which you must have read. We are technical people and we'll restrict our submissions with regard to technical aspects. Why we are here, I need not emphasize the reason why we are here, because we are here in support of mining. You know, for the last 66 years, or I won't say 60, for the last 20 years, mining has been neglected like anything. Mining, as you are well aware, is very important activity throughout the world. But in India, it is given a backseat. It has been given a backseat. When India gained independence in 1947, China was behind us in coal production, in iron ore production, in oil production, and all the minerals which we mine in India today. China was behind us. But after independence, China has gone much ahead of us, and 80% of their people are employed because of the fact that they have utilized their minerals to generate jobs. Now, whatever you see here in this room, I just want to give you how important mining is. Whatever you see in this room started, if it is not grown in the field, if it is wood, everything is started its journey from the mines. It was mined with a drill, or it was loaded with the drill, it was blasted with the drill. All are minerals, made of minerals. Drill is made of minerals. The loader is mineral. It was transported by a truck, it was mineral. The road, it was mineral. It was transported, it went to a factory, it was a mineral. Everything in our life is made out of minerals. It is, whether you take infrastructure growth, whether you take power growth, whether you take steel growth, the journey starts from the mines. Without mining, you cannot have inclusive growth. Without mining, you cannot have development. Today, we say our development has come down, our growth rate has come down, it is negative. The reason is because we have not given due respect and due importance to mining. So this is the first point why we are here actually. Mining is basically the oxygen of all these things. It is already given. We have given a write-up. What I am telling is there already. I don't want to repeat it, but there is no doubt that we have to give more importance to mining so that we grow as a country. We have 400 or 500 people in the villages. They don't use any minerals. The reason is because we cannot give them jobs, we cannot give them the infrastructure, because we don't mine. We are neglecting mining. That is one of the biggest reasons why we are here today to highlight the importance of mining to the new government. There is some hope. Now, after so many years, we have got 30 years, we have got a government which has majority, and there is a lot of hope. So Mining Engineer Association thought that this is the right time to tell the government that you please go ahead, we are with you. The reason why we are here, specific reason why we are here, is because of a Supreme Court judgment. We are here today. There is a specific reason. This judgment of Goa, which came in April, month of April, has changed the scenario before us, in the sense that that judgment has pointed out so many anomalies between the Act, MMRD Act, and the mines rules, so much that several mines in several states, in several minerals, they are now, at the moment as we do in this mineral conference, they are operating in a questionable manner. I won't say illegal because I'm not the competent judge to say, but they are, in case of Odisha and in case of Goa, they said illegal. And similar cases, situation mines are there in all the states, in all the types of mine. Whether it is manganese, whether it is copper, whether it is zinc, whether it is gold, wherever tailings is being produced in the plant, it has to be necessarily, pumped out. So the Supreme Court judge has found out these anomalies, whereby overnight, since the judgment has come in April, they are questionable at the moment. We don't want that. What happened after Goa? One NGO went to Supreme Court and said, see, Goa, you have given this judgment, why not in Odisha? So immediately the court stopped the mines in Odisha. All the persons whose mines were stopped, some of them are here. Now we as mining body, we know which are the mines, or we have a lot of friends working in those mines also maybe, but we know there are mines, and if some people like this go to the court again, the whole country will come to a grinding halt in those situations wherever they are. So that is the reason why we are here, and what we want. We respect the Supreme Court judgment. There is no, we don't say that Supreme Court judgment is wrong, but it is the responsibility of the government in power to remove those anomalies immediately, without waiting. They must remove those anomalies, and because we don't want a situation where the nation comes to a grinding halt. We have written whatever in the note. You please use those words. The state government must renew the mining leases. The court has not said that the state governments, why the state governments have not done. So state governments must renew those mining leases immediately, so that the situation is released, relief can be given. And in the case of Goa, MOEF should also withdraw the withdrawal of MOEF, whatever they have banned, they have sort of suspended the MOEF. Yeah, they have suspended the MOEF. No reason has been given in the court why they suspended and all that. So, and there is no reason why that cannot be suspended in the case of Goa. There is no reason why the mines leases cannot be renewed, because court has not prevented from doing so. So we request that to be done. We request the Prime Minister to kickstart the mining again in India with simple rules, so that there is no misunderstanding. We want simple rules. We want the MMRD Act to be amended suitably to, as I said, to, for the anomalies to be removed. We welcome the steps being taken by Mr. Chief Minister of Goa, and also the Environment Minister in the center. In fact, we want to thank them for taking a very bold decision of we have written it, you can see they are saying that why minerals must be mined in the buffer zone, why it should not be mined, while Kasturirangan should stop mining, because Goa, as you know, is a country, is a state which depends on mining. 30% of its economy depends on mining. About 2 to 3 lakhs people depends on mining. 5 lakhs, okay, 5 lakhs people depend, and there are also indirect way it helps Goa. So, and we are vindicated. We have been telling the government that mines, minerals are site specific. You know, we have written it in that note. Minerals are site specific. They are temporary. You know, once the mineral is over, we go out, and then again the environment comes up there. There is nothing. It is not a permanent activity. And minerals do not occur wherever we want. It has to be. We have mining engineer or geologist or whoever in the mining profession has to go there and mine it. It is not like a patient who comes to the doctor and he gives the medicine. It is not like that. We have to go, whether it is a forest, and minerals necessarily are available in the forest, in the ghats, in the hills, you know, in areas which are inhabited. These are geological forms where minerals are available. Minerals are not available on the street or in the agricultural fields always. But most of the minerals are available, iron ore, you go to Karnataka or Goa, they are always in the hills, whether it is copper, whether it is zinc. So minerals has to be mined from wherever. If the forest department has planted trees on that, they should make way, and those areas should be notified. The government should notify them. And what Chief Minister of Goa is doing, it is in accordance with the Prime Minister's vision also, which we are very happy, because Prime Minister says that our development should be a development and environmental debate. You know, there is a debate going on in India. It should be seen through the eyes of Indians, should be seen through the point of view of Indians, not the point of view of UNESCO or Western countries. So that is very important. This vindicates our stand that we should mine from wherever the mineral is. And most importantly, which I would like to emphasize, is our country, India, has got 2% of the world's land area, land mass. If you say 100 is the whole land mass in the world, we have got only 2%. So 2%, whereas the number of persons we have is 17.5. 17.5, exactly it is yesterday's figure, because you have a population clock, and if you multiply 17.5 and to 18 and 2% of the land is actually 1.99 if you do the calculation. China has got 6% of the land, 3 times more. Their population is 20, slightly more than India. So what does it mean? Now it is as if, there are 2 seats. I'm just giving you this one, which you have to, why I'm telling you, because you have to tell this to the people. It is like having out of 100 seats, 2 seats only India can sit, whereas there are 18 persons to sit in that chair. So it is very difficult. You have to do a lot of planning how 17 persons will sit in 2 chairs. Now, if you convert it into, instead of chairs, if you say there are 2 wheels, there are 100 wheels, and India has got only 2 wheels. Now, what can you do with these 2 wheels? You can't make an ambassador car, or you can't make a 4-wheel. It cannot be in track. It is either a bicycle, or it is a 2-wheeler, scooter or mobile, or it can be a maximum bullock cart. China has got 6 wheels. 6% of the land is with them. So they are on track. They have gone with that track very fast. India with 2 wheels, they have not been able to do balancing act, which they should have done. If India has got the brains to do balancing act, they could not do. So all are walking actually. If you see that our production, whatever way, because we have to balance on 2 wheels. Now, this is very important thing that India has to ensure, not through Western eyes, not through Chinese eyes. We have to see our development and our environment debate, and only then we can have GDP growth. So I don't want to again repeat. Mining is oxygen for all the downline industries, whether it is transport, whether it is steel, power, manufacturing, everything. So we must give due importance to this, and because of this 2% and this logic I gave, this analogy I gave, this wheel analogy I gave, what India should do is they should have a proper short-term, long-term, and medium-term plan for mineral security to ensure minerals are available to the country in an affordable, reliable, in a sustainable manner. With these words, I would request you to please convey our message to within India, and also out of India also, because we need support from all the countries for minerals. But at the moment we need to mine out our minerals and come to a stage where we can say that yes, we do not require minerals, we can afford to import minerals. So the mineral which is available, there is a gift of God, it is available there, we must go there and mine the mineral and use those minerals for the development of the community, for the development of India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bakshi. You tried your best to condense the details, whatever we are given in the handout, to the people here present. Thank you for your address. Now I would request Mr. T.V. Chaudhary Garu to address the gathering.
And many people off the dais, known faces, very senior mining engineers from the industry, from the Mining Engineers Association, like Dr. Sarangi, Mr. Kothari, Sanjay Patnaik, Sarvottaman, Jagdish, A.S. Rao, K.V. Rao, K.